The top 10 stupidest, weirdest, and most broken things about FIFA 22 Pro Clubs. If you go on to enjoy this video, drop a like on it down below as it really helps us out, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. It's free, and you're welcome here. Here we go. No cross-platform. If you were lucky enough to pick up one of the 7 Sony PlayStation 5s released, well, you'll know that there's about 9 Pro Clubs team on the entire thing. Don't get me wrong, this isn't all EA's fault. Of course, Sony should have done a better job, and I don't know what you're doing over there, Sony, but can you pull your finger out and make a couple of consoles? Because I speak for everyone when I say we will buy them. In all seriousness, I heard it's like a special chip that's in a global shortage at the moment, which means there isn't enough PlayStation 5s, but this causes big problems in EA Sports Pro Clubs because EA didn't make this game cross-platform, and that's on them. There's now Xbox, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PC players split between 5 different player bases and servers that are all playing the same game. It's a joke. Now, I can understand why PlayStation 5, for example, couldn't play with PlayStation 4. I know there's a next gen, I know there's more technology involved, and even though my job is to sit here and make Pro Clubs videos on the internet, I'm not totally thick. But what I can say is I don't understand why the new Xbox and the new PlayStation 5, and even the PC thrown in there as a 3, aren't all the same player base. That to me is simply EA laziness, and I believe out of all of the game titles on their level, they've got to be the only one left that doesn't implement a cross-platform mode into their games. I mean, seriously. This means if you're like me and looking to find some Pro Clubs games, it takes a literal year. Some things I can do while searching for a Pro Clubs game. I could walk the dog, I could play a round of golf twice. I could probably search for a match and then go ahead and wait 10 days until Christmas, 2-foot my nan over the table, get up and see over her unconscious body, and still have time to eat the entire Christmas dinner before I step foot into Town Park. It's a serious problem, EA, so if you're listening at this stage, please, for the love of Dorida, give us cross-platform as soon as possible. Point number 2 is a rejoin feature. Now, I know that this technically, like crossplay, is a feature that isn't a part of the game, but for me, these two are maybe the most important things wrong with FIFA 22 Pro Clubs. When I lag out of a game of Pro Clubs, why can't I rejoin or use my Pro? Games like Rocket League have had this feature since launching years ago. It annoys me so much when I'm playing against a team and let's say they're any disconnect. Why can't that player rejoin is my point. These two features start off our video and they really do highlight everything wrong with EA. I mean, you're living in the dark ages. No rejoin and no cross-platform in 2021. Going into 2022. What are you doing? Number 3, the kit glitch. Every single time I search for a Pro Clubs game, I find myself matching against a team in white, and I'm in white, and the captain can't change the kits. This has happened on stream for us a million times. When I asked you guys earlier on Twitter for some ideas on what you guys think's wrong with Pro Clubs, this was one of the most common replies to me. And this is actually an issue that has been in FIFA for years, and it constantly happens. Please tell me in the comment section down below what kit it is that causes this problem. I'm pretty sure it's the custom kits, right? I just don't know which one it is, but it's always this weird white and black custom kit on the other team, and then when my team's in white, we can't change off of it. Whether that's the away kit for PSG or the Real Madrid home kit, we can't change. It's like white versus white. Now, I've reported this bug to EA Sports, and you guys have probably reported this on the beta forums and previous FIFAs and social media in your hundreds of thousands, okay? But of course, they remain broken and usually unanswered. Fixing a bug like this on Ultimate Team or maybe even Career Mode would take no more than 48 hours were it to be a thing. And this is the problem with Pro Clubs. Constant neglect from EA. There are so many stupid bugs like this that exist in the game that I'm sure you guys are going to be putting in the comment section. I wouldn't mind a full bug list down there actually to take a look at. So if someone wants to be kind enough to put like a list of the bugs, I will go through them and yeah, have a look and see if I've missed any. But from the outside, these problems look so easy to fix and they just never have been. What's that about, EA? Point number 4, relevant to the last one again, community managers. Let me take you on a little journey, or I guess a story, on how EA Sports operate their Pro Clubs team, as it will make it a lot easier for you guys listening to understand. So, around June, July of every calendar year, I'll get some sort of message out of the blue from an EA Sports employee and a couple of other people who don't even necessarily make Pro Clubs videos, which is the worst part, will get the same sort of message. I'm talking about content creators in other game modes on FIFA. It'll be a super positive message from a representative from EA Sports, and it'll be looking at feedback and game-changing programs, blah, 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 blah. Every single year, it's the same lies, and right now in December, I know for a fact that EA haven't replied to a single game changer about Pro Clubs for months. Completely in the dark. Gone. So from the start of the game cycle, it's like they just tried to get everybody on side around the launch of a FIFA and make everybody happy. And, you know, guys, go out there, sweet talk some of the game changers, sweet talk some of the content creators, let them know it's all going to be okay, and then actually just bin them off after a few months, because we don't really care. It's all about the launch and getting as many sales in as possible. Any of the issues that I cover in this video that are in the comment section, I have brought up to EA Sports representatives, okay? Whether it's in the DMs, whether it's emails, anything, I've done it. And so have so many other game changers and community members. But we have nobody that actually replies, and rather than that, we just have people that blow hot air up your ass and tell you they're going to make the changes, but they never happen. So to all the guys and girls out there listening to this video now, I can categorically tell you EA Sports do not respect a thing that you say about the game. They don't care. They just don't care. I'm sure some of the employees care. I'm sure some of the people I've spoke about who have messaged me, or some of the community managers who have been in place before, do care, but when they report it to whoever their superior, they don't care. The people at EA Sports don't care. It's all about sales, Ultimate Team pack sales on top of that. Nothing else matters to them. So, until we get somebody who is willing to stand up to EA, who works for them, who's willing to say, actually, this isn't acceptable, guys, we need to make sure that this is fixed because we've got a player base of millions of people just matching in the same kits constantly for a game they bought for 70 quid. Nothing's going to change. What I'm trying to say is, for the most part, the relationship between EA Sports and the big content creators, or most of the content creators, maybe some of the big boys at the top are pretty cushy, but most of us, it's non-existent. So there's definitely never going to be a relationship between the players and the people at EA. Let's be honest. Point number 5 is level progression, and the time it takes to level on FIFA 22 Pro clubs is an absolute joke. I have been crying out for years to have more diverse, longer leveling systems in place, but I didn't want it to take 700 games to just get my maximum skill points, EA. What are you doing? The casual player who comes to play pro clubs, you know, maybe up to 100 times like last FIFA, would get their skill points, would get maximum skill points. I'm not saying that I didn't want the level process to be harder or to take longer, because that's simply not true. I'm just saying stretching it out and making it 6 times as long to do the same thing is not fun. It's not creative. It's not what we wanted. It's not a new feature. It's just making something that was already there longer. To me, they've done the laziest thing they could possibly do. Instead of making it 100 games, it takes 600, and you just got players backing out of games constantly to get their skill points at this point. I wanted there to be a more diverse leveling system. I wanted it to be more creative. It's not my job to program the game, but I feel like I could do a much better job than whoever is doing it. Revolutionize the leveling system, make it, you know, so if you score goals, you actually properly level. They've said that that happens on this FIFA, but really, I mean, you're talking the difference of 20 games after 700. Like, if I'm very good at the game and play 500 games, maybe I'll get my max skill points. If I'm not so good at the game, instead of 500, it might take me to like 520. You know, it's really not that big of a skill gap. Just think outside the box. Just give us something new. Creative, fun. Point number 6 is the leaderboards and stats in general on there are completely warped. It doesn't give you a fair reflection of who the best players are. I've said this in previous videos before. We need some sort of system in place where scoring a goal in Division 1 is the equivalent to scoring 10 in Division 10, because the leaderboards are full of players who just bash the bottom 3 divisions and get 6 goals a game. But I mean, they're playing against people who just don't play the game and they've got 89 rated pros. On top of that, this FIFA is full of players who have backed out of games, and the matches played is a huge contributor to who's high up in the leaderboards. So people who have backed out of 500 games to get their maximum skill points will automatically be way up the leaderboards. And do you know what? The whole thing just needs a revisit. Getting to the top of the pro club's leaderboards should be something of a real achievement. It should be like Call of Duty. If you get yourself up there, you're one of the best players in the world, right? It doesn't work like that on pro clubs. And to be honest, going with the leaderboards is the statistics of your pro. Like, the statistics have been improved at the end of games. We've got heat maps, we've got XG, we've got some really cool additions. But because of the timer on clubs, you can only really see these things for about 40 seconds max. And obviously then you're into the next game or out into the lobby, and then you can't see them again. Why don't we have a proper database where I can see my pros' in-depth stats for all of the games I've played, or all of the games in that division at least? I just don't understand why those things aren't brought in. I feel like all of that is part of the virtual pro experience, and therefore has to be in FIFA 22 Pro clubs, right? Next up, number 7, incentives and the lack of them. There's just no reason to play this game for a long period of time. Yes, now you have to get your max skill points, so you want to play for 500 games, but I mean, is anybody looking at that and raring to go? If you play this game as much as I do, and you watch our videos at least, or our streams, you'll see the only way that we ever keep this game fresh is to try and go 100-0, 200-0, 300 wins and 0 losses. The divisions, the cups, all of that, none of that really matters. I mean, we won Division 1 20 times in a row last FIFA. And I know we play this game way too much, and I know that there's a reason we're that good, it's because we do that. But I'm saying, even for the less intense player, the more casual player, there's just no real incentives. I feel like winning Division 1 3 times in a row or 3 times should get you a special pair of boots that no other players has access to. Or new kits, or different hairstyles, or just things like this, a special stadium, or a special walkout. Different things that could be incorporated in to keep the game fresh and give you guys incentives to play it. I mean, the 4 cups are terrible, let's be honest, and the division system's been the same since FIFA 12. 10 years of the same thing. Point number 8, I'll keep this short and sweet because I've spoke about it a million times, is a battle pass. I've been crying out for some customization, more customization than what we get. I think copying Fortnite or an inspired Fortnite style, 4 different seasons throughout the FIFA cycle, 4 different battle passes to get from level 0 to 100 and unlock customizational things that other people might not have if they don't purchase the battle pass, which, by the way, I think you should be able to earn through playing games, not actual money, but just chuck money on it as well, like £3 if you want EA, because I know that's what makes you guys really horny. Point number 9, Volta customization. So tattoos and pretty much everything on pro clubs, it should be on pro clubs, already exists. It's in Volta, and we've been through this before, guys. Copy and paste exists. Just give it a go. Give us tattoos on the game. Give us some of the Volta features like the head tennis and all these skill games that I see people playing. That should already be in clubs. In my opinion, Volta shouldn't exist. It should just be part of clubs. Should be a my player experience. A huge overhaul is needed, but you know, we spoke about that a million times. And point number 10 is replays. I know, okay, I know, listen, I know, I'm sorry, calm down. It's my list though, and I want to see a replay. If I score a good goal, I want to see it replayed. I remember back on the old FIFAs on pro clubs when I first started to play, if you scored a goal and you got to watch that on like 2 different camera angles afterwards and you knew the whole lobby was watching it, if I score a banger, why can't I see a replay? It just skips every time. I don't know why scoring a goal has become toxic. It's the whole point of football and FIFA. Really weird. So that's all we got time for today. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a thumbs up down below. I really enjoyed making it. It's kind of like therapy for me, this. Subscribe to the channel to never miss a Pro Clubs video, or to be honest, just support me. And the more subscribers we get, I guess the better Pro Clubs looks. So yeah, maybe chuck your account down there. It does help us out. Please, EA, if anyone is watching this from your company, bring some of this information to the table, for FIFA 23 at least. I buy this game every single year for the last 10 years, specifically for Pro Clubs, and I'm not alone in that. So please, it's a sleeping giant. You've got to realise its potential. Stop sleeping on pro clubs and stop disrespecting the community that makes you what you are. I'll see you guys in the next one.